Okay, noting the presence of a quorum, I call the Boxwood Finance Committee meeting to order, July 9th, 2024. The agenda's on the screen right here. Just as a preview of what we've got tonight, we'll do some introductions of new members and new staff members. Go through the minutes of last meeting, citizens' concerns. We have a reserve fund transfer to discuss tonight. We would like to review some issues from the outstanding FY24 budget report we received of what's left to pay and potential budget transfers. There's some issues for 25. One is the school budget has been amended and we need to make a response to that topic. And there's also some information about vocational school enrolments, which will impact our budget in 25, I think. I've got some updates on the dashboard, basically staffing updates, just to complete that. And then we want to look at as far as organisation is concerned, look at liaisons for committees and departments, as we've had some turnover in the committee, and also dates for 2024, 25 meetings. So in terms of introductions, firstly, welcome Joe Stolpin. Thanks for volunteering.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And John Grieven. Thanks for volunteering.
Same.
Welcome, both of you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
And John Connor is joining our meeting now.
Okay, so we need to do a roll call vote then,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Okay, so noting that John Connor's joined, we should do a roll call vote. Just people shout their names out?
Yeah, no, I called on people and I always started on
okay.
the screen. I went this way just to make it easier.
Okay, John, are you on with us? John, you have to-
Probably the cocktail in his hand.
Looks like
Yeah,
he's still
yeah.
in the waiting room.
Oh,
No, he's there.
Here he's connecting. Oh, no, you're connecting. Different John. Well,
maybe we'll continue.
He's
Right.
co-host, so he should be able to unmute himself.
Yeah. Yeah, when he comes on. Okay. So yeah, also I'd like to introduce Hong Hwa, who has joined us as Finance Director. Welcome. And reintroduce Gary Kushner, who's rejoining as Meeting Secretary, which we're very pleased to have,
Yes, we are. We're lucky.
to be highly organised like this. Okay, so next topic is John there?
Yeah, he just popped up on the
John,
screen.
can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
yes.
Yep, yeah. So we
Hi.
need to do a roll call vote, just as now we have someone on Zoom. So John Connor,
Present.
Kishava?
I'm here.
Yeah. Joe?
Present?
John? Grieven?
Here.
Present.
Becky?
Present.
Maria? And Tony present. Thank you. So next thing is minutes for June 11, which did go out from Gary. Any comments on the minutes?
Move to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, who moved?
Me.
Becky and second?
Me.
Maria.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All in favour?
No, roll call.
Okay, roll call. John Connor?
Aye.
Kishava?
Aye.
Joe?
I wasn't there, so I'll abstain.
Okay. John Grieven?
Yeah, I guess I'd say I was there as
Okay.
well.
Okay. Becky?
Aye.
Aye.
Maria, aye. Tony, aye.
Yep.
Okay. Citizens' concerns. Any public input? Nobody on Zoom, I don't think. Okay. Okay. Next, we have a reserve fund transfer, which I sent out this afternoon. Let me put it on the screen, actually, if I can find it quickly. Sharing. So this is $27,589. It's for legal expenses for a.
You're not sharing.
You're not
Oh,
sharing
sorry.
in Zoom land.
Sorry.
Geez, look, Maria, it's not just you.
Zoom land makes me a little crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Get a hang of this.
Everyone thinks it's so easy.
Okay. So this is a reserve fund transfer request for $27,589 for legal expenses and a settlement. This has to be remained somewhat confidential because we can't give the name of the person and stuff like that. But this has come in, obviously not budgeted. I'm not sure what's our normal routine with these things, with these legal fees like this. Do we normally go ahead and approve these?
Yeah, so last year, because of the amount, we went through every single one. If you remember, we used to make and bring bills because
Yeah.
of them. But this year, because they're one-offs and they're at the end of the year, and because there's the settlement, we wouldn't, unless somebody has a reason they'd want to look at it, we would just go ahead. If somebody has questions, can ask the questions. Otherwise, we just can go ahead and approve it, make a motion.
Okay.
Do you guys want an explanation on what a reserve fund transfer is?
Sure, I roughly know, but a refresher wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so reserve fund transfer, we have a reserve fund we establish each year for items which are unexpected in the budget. So any reserve fund transfer has to be approved by the finance committee, so they can't just spend the money without our control basically. So each one we look at quite relatively carefully, make sure it's reasonable. Typically we approve them, but it's a check and balance on terms of the process of spending those additional funds. And this is the sort of thing that typically crops up, these sort of legal funds that have cropped up which are unanticipated and can't be budgeted. Okay, any other questions, anybody?
I'll move to approve $27,589.07 from the reserve fund to general legal services.
I'll second it.
John Connor?
Aye.
Kashaba?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Becky?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Do we have the document?
We have the document, so I'll pass that round for everyone to sign
You're so much better than me.
right before we all go home
I need a
tonight.
pen. Do you have a pen?
I don't have a pen actually, no, or
Here,
pencil.
I've got a pen. I can pass the pen with the reserve fund.
Okay. So the next topic is the FY24 budget.
The top mic for you when you're ready.
So I'm not sure, this is not going to show very well on the screen, I don't think, but what is, I'm sure, I've sent you the document out before, so you may have already seen this, but what it basically shows is where we stood in terms of spending at the end of, as of June 21st this year. And we don't have an update on this for how we stood at the end of the year. We'll get that by the end of this month, I believe. But what this shows is we're actually $2 million underspent for the year.
I'm just blown away by it.
Sorry?
Can you make it bigger?
Yeah.
I'm just blown away by that. I mean, we
Yeah.
budget so tight on all of these, and
These are the bottom line numbers.
Yeah, well, we know we had snow and ice left because it was this easy winter.
135,000.
I know.
I mean, if you look at the numbers that we did quick back of the napkin, right?
I know.
We had $1 million. We were thinking conservatively, maybe $1.5 million.
Right.
But we're $2 million. I
2 million
just-
back to free
So-
cash.
Can somebody tell us what the greatest
Well,
asset
as
is?
of the 21st of June, that is, so it's not
Okay.
necessarily end of the year. So, sorry, John, were you saying?
Yeah, so, I mean, did we sort it by deviation?
You got to get closer to your mic.
Yeah, couldn't hear.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
fine. It's fine. We sort this by, deviation to find out what's the majority, where this is coming from.
Well, we can scroll up. I know that there was
Yeah.
another huge amount for insurance this year that surprised me. If you go to town insurance, it was like $213,000.
Yeah, that's one.
And that
Out of
happened
one- yeah, out of
last
1
year as
million,
well.
Yeah. So there's debt interest is a fairly big one.
Which surprises me,
Yeah.
because that's usually spot on budgeted.
Recreation programs. I mean, it's actually spread quite widely across the budget, actually, if you look at the numbers.
Yeah.
And then these which are highlighted in green are where they need to do a budget transfer. No, sorry, in yellow, they need to do a budget transfer because they're below the
Okay,
number.
wait a second though, because I'm confused, because budget transfers have to be signed by July 15th. Do we have another meeting between now and July 15th?
So do we need to sign those?
We have to vote on
We have
them.
to vote on them. And I thought, did the select board vote them last night?
No.
I don't think so. Not while I was there.
No.
Do you know, did they vote budget transfers last night? No.
Okay, well, I thought the policy said
Yep.
the FinCom and the select board have to sign off on budget transfers.
Before they're done, they need to be done by the 15th. Is the 15th a weekend or is it,
Well, today's the 11th.
Yeah.
Monday.
it's Monday? Yep, so it needs to be done. So, I mean, they could technically, no, they can't. The select board can't even sign off next week because it's after 5 o'clock. Books close July 15th at 5 o'clock.
All right.
And this list was supposed to, when I left off with her, this list was coming to this meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, this, and granted, this is, we need a budget transfer, but we need to know what the offsets are. So
Yeah,
that we
where it's
can-
coming from.
Yeah.
We need a budget transfer for this line, but where are we taking it from? Are we taking it from snow and ice, or I don't know.
And I did notice when I was looking through them as well, there was, I told you, there was police overtime or fire overtime, maybe it was fire overtime. And she wants to do a budget transfer, but there's $140,000 in, okay, there's $140,000 in the fire salary for the
Right.
chief. So we can just,
Well, and they don't have, I don't think they have to come for a
They
budget
don't have
transfer
to.
for that.
They can just do that.
When it's within the department, they can just transfer expenses from salary.
right.
But, like, when they don't have anywhere to take it from, then that's problematic.
Was Mike coming up?
He's not coming,
Oh,
no.
he left.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
realize
what's
that.
our action here? What's our next action here? Given that we have this information, we don't know, we haven't heard any more from this. I mean, is it to get back to Mike and actually
Yeah, and
press him on where we are?
Well,
with
yeah,
this?
'cause you might have to have, I mean, we could do a Zoom
Early morning meeting,
early morning
Yeah.
approval, or,
but it needs to be 48
Posted.
hours notice.
Right.
That's what happened last year. Last year, we had to post an emergency meeting,
Right.
but then that, makes, we don't want to do that. We need 48 hours notice. We could do an early morning Zoom meeting if we get a list of budget transfers.
Right.
But I would,
And I have flagged this with Mike. I've already mentioned to Mike my concern with this report and
Yeah.
what it means. So
Right.
he's aware of it. I mean,
right, and this is not a list. We need a list with the offsets.
Right.
Also, I think we need to, we could go through and just, or we shouldn't have to do this. We should tell her if it's within a budget department, we don't need a transfer.
Right.
So there was at least one, maybe two,
Yeah.
that we could take off and.
well, I'm looking at whatever this yellow is, where it's $7,671.
Yeah.
Right below it, you've got,
But, yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
you've got, that's snow and ice, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, there's lots of money there.
Right, but that's the whole
You don't
point.
need the transfer for that one, because you've got money like two down, that's $7,929, right?
right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just the ones where, I mean, maybe they're all within, look at this next one. Are we seeing any huge ones that they can't move money around?
All right, I know that it's hard for
John's
the
got his
people at
hand up.
home to see.
If you close the left tab,
But yeah, we
it'll
need to
open it up
try
again.
to, like,
that little all tools, you can shut that.
That's-
and then,
So, Maria, can I ask you a question? Well, when you use the term offset, just for everybody's edification, are you talking about, is that the source of how you're going to cover it?
when I
that what
use
you
the
mean?
word offset.
Yeah, how you're gonna cover
Yes.
it.
Right, so if you're gonna budget transfer from fire salaries, because they have let's say they have a deficit of 10,000, and you're offsetting it to snow and ice, the transfer is from fire salaries to snow and ice salaries.
But if
That's the offset,
But
right?
if it's within DPW
Right.
non-salary,
If it's,
that-
they
that-
can,
that's not a transfer.
that's not a
Right.
transfer.
So really, what's happened here is the terminology is wrong in this document, isn't it? Because what
I
they're-
think it is.
What they're saying need budget transfer, it doesn't really need that. It really needs an offset
So what we need, yeah.
within the same budget.
Right. As long as there's money within the budget,
Yeah.
fire other, DPW other,
So for
whatever
all
it
of
is.
these, I think there's money in the budget, right? In the
I
same-
didn't
in the-
see anything that jumped out that
in-
I
in the
thought
category.
we
So-
really, this is a legitimate transfer.
So I think just budget transfer is the wrong terminology to use. I think it's really an offset,
Yeah,
and we don't need to worry about it because presumably they
right.
will
It's within the other.
it'll be a wash basically.
So that's
Right.
what I think he needs, I think you need to just talk to Mike tomorrow morning and say, we need to know if there's any legitimate
budget
Right.
transfers that we need to approve before Monday.
Right, yeah.
And
yeah.
then, like, I think last year we had like a 7 o'clock in the morning meeting to approve 2 budget transfers on the
Right.
last day.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it
Okay.
wouldn't take much, but it needs to be.
Okay.
That's what I would do, because as I looked through this, I was like, this isn't
Because
really a
I'm looking
budget
through right
transfer.
now, I mean,
Does anything jump out as being, needing to actually be a transfer?
Gary's got his hand raised.
Fire chief,
Fire chief?
nothing spent, fire chief salary.
Right,
Why?
because
You haven't got one.
we don't have a fire chief. The question was, nothing spent in fire chief salary, for those of you at home, because the captain covered, was an interim chief. And under the personnel rules, under the personnel plan, there is a differential on his salary, which is why you might have some overtime in the fire department.
So his salary was covered by this part-time,
Or
It
full-time
may be-
firefighter?
Yes, it's gonna end up being covered by something else.
Good,
And that
okay.
money for the chief was never spent, because it wasn't an actual,
That's
right?
fine,
Does that
'cause
make
there's,
sense?
there's lots of stuff, like, there's other stuff, right? Like, fire department overtime, it's a $58,000 hole, but you've got the whole chief's salary to cover
Right.
it.
So, okay, so I think that's fine. I'll talk to Mike and I'll
Make
make
sure.
there's no budget transfers there, and we're
Yeah,
We-
just looking at page 1 through 7, I didn't
Yeah.
see anything that wasn't
Yeah.
within a department.
so it doesn't take away my primary concern, which was the fact we have $2 million left unspent.
That is a problem.
At 10 days before the end of the year. So what we need to know is where did we actually end up at the end of the year?
Yep.
I mean, if stuff's making the free cash, that's great, but it also means that our budgeting process for 24 was obviously wrong.
And the same thing happened last year.
Yeah, so,
And we
yeah.
were so tight this year. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't,
Yeah.
we were super tight this year, I thought.
So I think that needs also an understanding of what's actually happening.
But again, it's things like the fire chief, we didn't have one all year, right? So I don't even care if you like have to offset stuff,
But yeah, so-
within the fire department budget, but, it's like $65,000 in the fire department budget that's got holes, but you've got $145,000 for the chief's salary, and then you've got, part-time firefighters, $64,000 left over. So, I mean, you know, because we've added full-time staff, we don't need as much part-times, as many of the per diems. Maybe that's where, maybe we just need to figure that out for next year. Hopefully, we've got a new chief now, and hopefully he's understanding budgeting.
Yeah. I think that's right. I think when they come in to do their budgeting presentation, we need to have this data at our fingertips and say,
Yeah.
this is where we were last year.
Aside from the fire
yeah.
chief's salary.
Well,
Yeah,
so here's the
yeah.
thing, is when we go and meet with these guys, we need to say to them, or when we send the memo out, we say, you don't just start from where you were.
Yeah.
You said that last year.
I know,
But we
we
need to
always
make,
say
but
it.
we need to, I guess, make that point. We came in, and it's not gonna be $2 million, because, so that, there's $200,000 in insurance. It's possible they have one more payment to make,
Yeah.
right? It was 10 days before the end of the
Sure,
year.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
really need to get to the July 15th numbers
Yeah.
to figure out how much it is. But I do think it's still gonna be pretty high, which is good, because we bet the farm on that at the end of
Because we ran
town meeting,
we
right?
ran our free cash down
Yeah.
to the
Right,
number. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay, so,
Okay. I'm going to stop sharing that.
yeah.
Okay. Then the other report that we got was the special articles report, which I'll also share. So this is basically a list of all the articles from previous town meetings and what is still outstanding. So there's a bunch of stuff here also, which some says continue, which makes sense, but some where there's yellow boxes there. I'm not sure what that means. It means they're not going to be spent now, and that money is available, or
Well,
or
here's
what?
the thing, is, wait a second, because like town hall paint touch-up, didn't we vote more money at town hall for
So we
this
did,
year?
so we did,
We-
so for town hall, there's a bunch of exterior work to be done, right? That we have old warrant articles for that I think Mike is gonna use to do
I
exterior
think we
work.
notified. I
Right.
think we reused some
Okay.
of that.
Yeah, so she shouldn't be deleting any of this money or putting it back into free cash.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What these yellow signs really mean.
Right, because that's what normally it would mean. It would be like, look at these things and tell me, because we haven't used, I mean, town hall, the paint was 2014, the
Yeah.
insulation, right?
Right.
That makes sense. Now, my guess would be if you go to DPW backhoe,
Yeah.
which is the 6100, that's probably what's left after we bought it.
Yes.
But she needs to talk to Ed on that and find out Is that right? And
Yeah.
if it is, then that can go back into
Then we'll
free
take the money
cash.
back, yeah. So then we need to go through this, I think, line by line also with Mike, I think, and figure out what's going on with each of these things.
Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
I think that, again, when you talk to him tomorrow, she should not put any of this money into free cash until she has spoken to the department heads.
Right, yeah.
'Cause
Well,
in-
is there anything saying we have to put it back into free cash right away?
No, she tries to clean up at the end of the year,
I get that.
and that's okay normally, but,
I think we just wait and
Yeah.
don't do anything with it. Oh, look, what?
Warrant articles have to go to town meeting to be closed out.
there's some question about that, John. Last year, that we got a legal opinion last year that was not the case.
That being said, maybe we should find out from legal now that we've got
Yes, so,
Mhm.
It
anyway,
might give us a little wiggle room here,
right, right.
because if we're gonna have a fall or winter town meeting, we could always do it then too. So it buys us time, since we don't,
Yeah.
let's just, she should have her hands off this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
well,
that
we,
might
we,
be
we have
good.
Hongguo now, so
yes.
Yeah, that's
you're
fine.
down the hot seat for some of the stuff that's going forward.
Thank God.
And you know what, maybe what we need to do is, one of the things we do this fall is we don't have a policy on this, closing out articles.
Right.
So maybe one of our financial policies for the fall, I can keep a list if you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, we're gonna have to add policies, is closing out old articles.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand, because Boxborough Building Committee consultation for public facility, it looks like it's all been spent, nothing's been spent.
Nothing's been spent. No.
But I don't understand, because I know again, I think Mike can speak to this, but I think they're spending it down,
And that's a town meeting 18.
yeah. But they knew they had it,
Yeah.
I don't,
So there's a lot of questions here, I think.
she just,
Yeah.
don't let her do anything.
Yeah. Okay. How are you doing so far, Joe and John? You okay with things?
And listen, can I just tell you a little secret? Like, when I first got on all the committees that I've been on, I kept notes, and then I either went home and Googled, or I called somebody, a friendly face on the committee, and said, what does this mean? So feel free to do that. And email.
Yeah.
I think George emailed a list of questions last year after his first meeting, so, because it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
And we're just sort of blowing through everything.
Yeah.
Taking it all in.
John, is your,
This is a fire hose for these guys, or at least in my opinion. So
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
take a deep breath.
We're gonna sign them up for all kind of committees liaisons.
Okay. So I'm going to leave that there then. And it's a conversation with Mike for me, and,
Yeah,
and we'll
just leave
see
it.
where we go.
Yeah.
John, your hand is still raised. Do you want to lower your hand?
I will lower my hand.
Okay. So the next thing is moving on to the fiscal year 25 budget. Is the letter we've had from the school committee.
Yep.
Let me just share that. So this came to the select board and the finance committee and the town, and the basic thing here is that the school committee have decided to change the budget for fiscal year 25. They're changing the top line of the budget by about two something million dollars, but they found money to cover that expense from reserves. So the bottom line does not change. So that means that they can make that change without changing the school assessment. So there's no immediate need for the town to re-vote on that. But however, the select board of Boxborough have an option to actually challenge that basically and go back and say, we don't agree with this. As of the select board meeting last night, the select board have basically sent sending like a holding letter on this saying, we have questions about this, we want you to hold this while we're thinking about it. So it's really now in front of the finance committee to look at this and see what we think about this change, what the impact is of this on the fiscal year 25 budget, the potential impact on the fiscal year 26 budget, and what reaction we want to have to that and how we want to advise the select board on that. So, Maria, do you want to comment?
yeah, so, I guess Joe and John, did you follow that?
Yeah, so they needed an additional $1,711,160,
Yeah.
and they used the excess and deficiency fund and the band premium revenue combined as the exact same amount, so there's a zero change in the bottom line.
$0 to our assessments, but there is a $1.7 million increase to the bottom line budget. And they've changed the FY '25 budget number from 114 million and change to 116 million. So that means when we start the FY '26 budget process, if they don't change it back, we have to make up that excess in our assessment. Rough back of the napkin is 18%, which is what I'm assuming it is, about 18% of the 1.7 million is like $300,000. So we would be starting to get to zero with the school budget. We have to come up with $300,000 just to get to zero.
Because the school budget never goes down.
No, because here's should be a one-time special expense because it's
Yes.
because of insurance. They changed insurance because they did such a crappy job running the Acton Health Insurance Trust that they have to now like make another payment, even though they've got stepped away and they're going with Maya. But they shouldn't get this money again next year. This was to cover a one-time
This
expense.
is a buyout. This is a buyout,
yeah.
but yeah.
So
Yeah,
it needs
so
to
you
be
make
like, we need to send a letter and say, okay, but your assessment next year starts at the same spot.
Yeah,
You
and
don't
I-
get to increase
And I
it.
think that could be the assumption, right? I mean, I think we don't necessarily start at the $117 million. We start at where we were. And I
Right.
think, there's obviously going to be an increase in the school budget from last year. We just calculate that based on where on the original budget, I think.
I just think.
But I think we need to give them-
send a
we
letter,
need to let them know
because
that.
they will
Yes.
take full advantage and use that money.
Because if they don't do another motion, because they did a motion to increase it, right? If they don't do another motion to decrease it, they're gonna start at that budget, and they will figure out the assessment on table 6,
Yeah,
just like what they sent us that's attached to this letter.
right.
And we can say whatever we want, but that's gonna be their starting point, and then we're gonna have to vote it down at town meeting. We're basically gonna have
Yeah.
to vote against the assessment and vote it down at town meeting. So I think we need to give them a heads up that we're not gonna accept that to be the starting point.
Okay, so the first question is, are we going to accept this change without requesting a special town meeting?
Calling a special
Should I-
town meeting takes a lot of money.
Well, yeah, I'm just making sure let's go
Yeah.
through the process here. I don't think we're suggesting we want to have a special town meeting. I think we're
No,
saying
not
I
unless,
think we're saying we have to accept what's happened here. The question is, what can we push back on? What can we have the select board say to the school committee about what our position is here? So one position is we will expect to start the budgeting process at the earlier number of the budget
Yes.
when we have our
that
conversations
you
about
will, you will
this.
have another motion
Yeah.
before the budgeting process
Yeah,
begins that
yeah.
decreases this budget back to 114 million.
Do we have any other questions or issues we want to add to that?
So if you look at the breakdown on this, in addition, the school district needs $150,000 one-time funds to have a company, New Solutions K through 12, work with the committee, district leadership, and the steering committee of the community stakeholders to find strategic budgeting opportunities. So is that an additional $150,000, or is that built into the 1.7? So that is the second paragraph.
So where are you seeing that? Which page is that?
Oh, okay, this is the email. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. This is the memo that was sent. This is the thing about the transparency and lack thereof from
So
the
I
school
haven't got that,
administration.
you're saying?
No, I went in to their packet and I pulled
Oh,
this,
okay.
and this is from the finance director at the region to the school committee members. I'm sorry, I didn't even realize that this is a separate memo. So they've got, it's 1.5 million for the health insurance trust, and it's $150,000 for one-time funds.
Yeah, so that's a
It's
million
part-
seven, so that
It's
covers
part of the
it all.
1.7 then.
That's part of the 1.7. Okay, can you roll this letter up then? Does it say?
It doesn't have any of that.
It doesn't say specifically what the breakdown
It
is.
goes into the ledgers then,
Okay, all right.
yeah.
Okay, so that is also a one-time. So both of the items that make the 1.7 up are one-time expenditures.
Right.
Although I find it ridiculous that we're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to school administrators, and we have to pay $150,000 to a company to tell us how to not spend money.
Right.
I mean, why are we paying you people? Why are we paying the superintendent $300,000 a year? But
But yeah, but
that's not my,
that's not part of the letter.
that's
though.
not my lane.
Never, I mean, there are other choices they've made that
Yeah.
are bad choices.
Well, the other question is, why could that money not have been spent out of the fiscal year 24 budget?
That is the question, right? We don't know what the turnbacks are, because at their meeting, this was done at the workshop meeting that was not televised, and they did not have the final year budgets. Every year, there's a small turnback or a large turnback from either the town back into free cash or from the school back into E&D. If they had $200,000,
Access and efficiency is like
Yeah,
our
yeah, it's
free
a
cash.
reserve, yeah.
right, it's our free cash.
For the schools, it's the.
If they had $200,000 that they were going to turn back into E&D, they could have spent $200,000 from the FY24, and this number would have only been
1.5.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's, I think those are the questions we have to ask. It's
Right.
that other lack of transparency,
Okay.
Yeah, where's all this money floating around?
right? Because
Because,
you
we
know,
have no money. That's what we kept
Right.
hearing. Oh, we have no money.
you know, and I would like to know specifically from them the actual turnback amount. I don't want to know, I want to know
About.
how much they're turning back. Because if it was $500,000, that makes that $1.2 million. And
Do we know how much is in their general fund budget? Like when they say they're taking 1.7 out of their general fund budget.
so they're
Like, are we apprised of that? Do we have to go look for
so
it?
the additional general fund budget amount.
That's
Okay,
like their total
that's
budget,
what's
which is
going
like 100.
into.
That's like the operating budget. I think.
That's their operating
Yeah,
budget.
yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's 114 million. Now it's 116 million.
Okay.
They're taking it out of the E&D. That was, so the state, just so you know, the state allows you to you have to cap your E&D at 5% of your operating budget. So you can't go above that. Generally, you want to be at about 3%. That's where we kind of want to be with free cash too, or whatever it is. They were under 3% during the budget process, significantly under, and they were very concerned about how low their E&D was.
Because they've used E&D for years to balance their
Right.
budget.
But they managed to find $1.6 million, $1.7 million in E&D. So I don't know where E&D is now. That would be the other question, is where are their reserves? I think that's an important question, because as they go into, they'll say they can't spend it on the budget,
But they
but,
are spending it on the budget.
but they are spending on the budget.
Okay, so with this, I've got 3 points that I can. I mean, the select board needs to write to the. School
Oh, I think we
committee,
can.
I
do,
think,
though.
I think
can?
the select board told us last night we should write a letter.
right? Okay. So I'll craft something then. So there's 3 points I've got to make here. One is that we expect the starting point for the budget next year to be 114 million,
And change, yeah.
whatever it is.
$114,380.
We
105.
want to understand why they did not spend some of this money from the fiscal year 24 term back.
Right. What was the turn back?
And what was the term back? And what are their current reserves? We want to know that. Is there anything else we should include in that letter?
But find a new superintendent.
I think with respect to this, I think that's all the questions we're
Yeah.
like within our.
Hold on 1 second. So could somebody just explain to me, this says in the detail, it says the health insurance.
Can you talk closer to the mic, John?
Talking it on top of it. Can you hear me?
Barely,
very
but go
faintly,
ahead.
very faintly.
So the health insurance contingency, so this is just, Becky just mentioned it, this is buybacks for the transition from the plan to the new plan?
This is, so the health insurance trust
That's-
sent, hold on a second. I sent it to Mike last night. I'm just gonna look it up so I can read it to you so you'll understand. Sent a letter, and this was the problem with this letter that they sent is it just says, as of May 30th, that's the part that scares me as well. It is estimated the Acton Health Insurance Trust will not have sufficient cash on hand to meet future obligations of the trust. At its June 20th, 24 meeting, the trustees voted to request an additional $2 million from the town and schools to cover the anticipated claims and run-out costs. Under Section 7.2 of the trust agreement, in accordance with the vote of the trustees, I'm requesting additional funds of $2 million. The $2 million then becomes the school. They determine the school's portion of it is 1.5 million.
Well, okay,
So
so what
this is-
happens when somebody's health insurance bill doesn't get, a 2024 bill, FY 2024 bill, does not get billed until, say, September?
So they were supposed to budget for a rundown.
Right.
Which is what we did. But this says, that's the thing that concerns me, is this line of, at the meeting, June 20th, 2024, the trustees voted to request additional $2 million to cover anticipated claims and run-out costs. So what happens if there's additional, $500,000 of additional run-out? You know, they clearly did not budget, and I don't know what the health insurance consultant is doing, but I don't know, I'm blown away that the district, once again, was caught off guard. Are you kidding? And the trust was caught off guard, and nobody had any idea this was coming.
So that's another point to make. Another question to
Yes.
ask is, will there be additional runoff costs?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Do
how are
we
we
have
gonna
a-
cover those?
Do we
Yeah.
have additional exposure to them?
Yeah. Is there additional
Yeah.
exposure, and how are we cover, how are
Yeah.
how are you covering it?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Because they'll be back later potentially, if not. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Gary?
Just as an FYI, I did report to the Finance Committee a couple of meetings ago, I think back in May, that there was some concern this was coming. They had no idea of numbers, but there was concern. And I did indicate that they were potentially liable for up to 2 years' worth of bills, late bills coming in. As a reminder, the school committee did keep some funds out of the projected savings for going to the health insurance for this coming year. It sounds like that wasn't enough to cover this.
No.
But there was some knowledge or some at least hints that things were coming. Obviously, this is much bigger than they were expecting, but
Can I just, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. Hung. Okay, I just have a question, because you come from a regional school district, right? And you were like, you had health insurance? And like, it wasn't a problem? Because this has been a huge problem for us, no?
Not the district that I've been working with,
Okay.
don't have anymore.
That's
But-
fine. Clearly, you've got a better
The
district.
problem we have is it's the Acton Health Trust.
Yes, it is. And it
And
was
it's
run by volunteers, yep.
And it was run by volunteers who.
They were self-insured.
Yes. That's the problem. It's not,
It's not like it's, now they've got Maya, so it should be better. But-
so.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna send that, so,
Yeah. I'll craft something. I'll possibly you, Maria. So you want-
yeah, and I guess that would be the question. Is everyone okay with Tony sending off a letter without everyone seeing it and approving it?
Yeah.
Because based on what we just talked about? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Yep, and then between that and the other note, if, you know, the other thing is, do you want to have them come in front of us? But then we don't have another meeting scheduled till September.
No.
We're not having a meeting in August?
No, we don't have
No,
one scheduled
Okay,
in
we have
August.
one August.
Oh, we do?
We do, yeah, one August, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if, we'll see,
Yeah,
I guess
I-
we'll see what their response to
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the
Okay.
select board may want them in front of them.
Okay, so next topic, also in FY25 budget, we heard a report last night that there are going to be 3 new enrollees for Minuteman Tech,
3 freshmen.
3 freshmen.
What?
I know.
I knew there was one.
So the issue here, just for Joe and John's benefit, is that we pay about $30,000 a year directly to Minuteman Tech for each student. And there's also a transport cost. I think usually it's $40,000. I think that's total.
Yeah, total transportation.
So when we did the budget, our assumption was that it's very hard to get into Minuteman Tech. Basically, people have been refused entry. We're not in
Because
we're not in the system
a member
here.
of the we're not a member
Yeah.
of the district anymore.
So we're allowed to apply. People are allowed to apply from here, but we're last on the list basically to get a place. But so we budgeted to assume that our current Voc Tech students who were sort of running their time out would be disappearing. I think we budgeted for 2 maybe for this
Yeah,
year.
I think we had 2 budgeted.
I'm looking it up right now.
But what's happened now is, and this is not confirmed yet with anybody, but we've heard the report that there are 3 new freshmen. So that's going to give us a $90,000 hole in the budget basically for 25.
So we budgeted $47,500 for tuition at Minuteman.
So it sounds to me like
And we
only-
did 1 extra tuition at Assabet.
So we only had 1 budgeted for Minuteman.
Because, no, we,
Yeah, because that would be transportation
Yeah.
and.
we were, so no, it's 50,000 total because there's this assessment down here too. And then transportation is separate, that's $40,000 separate.
Yeah.
So the tuition itself, we budgeted for $50,000 for. I was told there was a senior graduating, we had a junior, and there was no one on the wait list. I went back to my notes and I looked and I wrote, no one on the wait list, right? Wait list 0. So I don't know how all of a sudden we have 3 freshmen going in. I mean, that's like,
I mean, I thought kids couldn't get in who were in district even.
I
Like kids
didn't
who
either.
want to go there, who live like in Acton.
I know,
Can't
kids from
get in.
Acton are being rejected. So I don't understand. But Bob said, didn't Bob say he's, these kids have confirmation letters from Minuteman.
Who's Bob talking to?
Maybe
Neighbors. It was like there was a neighbor of his. Last time it was a neighbor of his.
It was one kid. Now,
But then all of a sudden he's like,
they're having babies,
he's like,
and there's
so-
like,
yeah, he's
nine
he's like, so
graders.
there's 3 freshmen going in. I'm like, what? He goes, I talked to 3 freshmen.
So the question is, what do we do about that in terms of the budget? Because we can't.
First, we need to
deficit-
confirm it.
Yeah. So this is a heads up, I think, at the moment, rather than being a real issue. But if it is an issue, then we need to figure out how we deal with that in terms of budgetary issues, because it's going to drive us into a deficit, right? For that.
Is
It-
it possible
line
that
item.
there's fewer enrollees at the other technical schools
No.
because of that, or no?
No, we have one. We have no one at Neshoba, supposedly. We're gonna have to recheck these numbers.
Yeah.
And we have no one. We have one kid at Assabet, so we over budgeted for Assabet by 1 student. Yeah, I think what we do is we confirm these numbers.
So who's got the confirmation of those
Ray
numbers?
John should have.
Ray Jean,
had been following
Yes.
this, so that's where we got our numbers from, was from Ray John. The problem is parents don't have to tell anybody if their kid's applying to a VOTEC.
Right.
right.
So, and because we're not a member, like, if we lived in Acton, the junior high would be tracking which of our kids were going to Minuteman.
When we were part of Minuteman,
Yeah.
the junior high would inform us. It would inform the accountant. We've had 5 kids from Boxborough apply, 3 got in. So we would know that 3 kids were going to Minuteman.
Right.
We don't have that right now. So we need to do better next year in making sure, because they're looking to join part of the Neshoba, to be part of Neshoba, but that's going to be a couple of years off. So what we
Right.
need to do is be better about this. What I would suggest on this is we need to confirm with all 3 schools our tuitions,
And our
our
enrollment.
enrollment, our tuitions. I would say at the fall or the winter town meeting, we should think about funding that through free cash. Then that brings that up so that next year's
So we
budget.
do a budget amendment basically in the
Yes,
fall.
at
yeah.
fall town meeting,
Yeah.
because that's substantial enough. We don't want to start $90,000 in the hole when we're budgeting next
Right.
year.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that would be my thought,
Yeah.
because we don't
You
pay
don't want
these.
to raise and appropriate it at that point, because
Right.
we've already set the tax rate and stuff, so I think take it out, especially if
Well,
we're turning $2 million.
We should have free cash, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, and that also gives us a second to get October 1st numbers, and those are the real numbers, and those are the numbers that, and they're not gonna bill us all up front. They bill us, I don't even know, last year they didn't even
Last year,
bill
we
us
didn't get bills for months.
for months, so.
Like months and months. Like I was like checking, and like I was actually texting Jennifer Barrett, who's, she used to be our town accountant here. And I texted her and said, hey, do you know if Neshoba, because her daughter went to Neshoba, has sent out bills? Because we haven't gotten any, it's showing up as we haven't gotten any bills. Oh, well, sometimes they don't do it right away. And I'm like,
So, anyway, so that's what I think we should do.
Okay.
I think that makes the most
How do we
sense.
get notified now that we're not part of the district?
We
Or-
don't.
We have to go to them. So last year, Ray Jean reached out to the different schools and
Okay.
copied me on the emails.
Okay.
And that's how we knew that we had 2 kids at Minuteman, no one on the
But I
waiting
think
list.
he did it again this year. I think he reached
did.
out. But the
This-
problem is if once kids can apply without talking to the town or
Right.
talking to the schools. Just like if a kid wants to go to Parker or a private school, they can. And nobody has to, you don't have to tell anybody. Like if I pulled my kid out and said, okay, you're going to some other school, okay, so be it, And
There's no one on the school side that needs to tell.
Yeah.
No one from Minuteman needs to inform the town either.
until they send us a bill. And we don't have
Until
money
they
to pay
send us
for
a
it.
bill.
Then we're 90,000 in the hole. and
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
bill
so we
to
just
take
need
care
to, I think 2 things. We need to come up with we need to figure this out in the fall. We need to come up with a better procedure for the town. It can't be last minute me saying to Ray Jean, can you please, that's what's been happening for the last 3 years. You did it,
Yeah.
I
Well,
did
2
it,
years
you reached out to
when
him
I
directly.
reached out to the schools directly because Ray Jean was like trying to do everything he could to
Right.
keep his head above
Right.
Well, it's a big swing number. That's the problem. So
Yeah.
we can't really
Mm-hmm.
just put a pin in the board and make a guess. We have
Right.
to be.
It needs-
Well, and it's
we
not
need
like
to-
it's a kid going to Minuteman
Yeah.
and we budgeted them for Assabet because then,
Yeah.
it might be 10 grand, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not 90 grand, which is
Yeah,
huge.
yeah.
But
And
could that
then-
also be a trend, like maybe we should expect that to ramp
So,
up because
so there's
people
the
are
thing, there is
growing into
there
that?
is a trend that kids, more children, a significant number of kids from AB are going to the vocational schools. I think when we were on the school committee, you know, if we had like 2 kids from Boxborough and 10 from Acton, that was a lot. Last year, there was over 100 kids from Acton going to Minuteman.
And 12 kids from Boxborough applied. Was it last year 12
Yeah,
kids applied?
yeah, and got
Last year,
nowhere.
12 kids applied and got in. One kid got into Essex Aggie, which is up in Essex, up in, you know, like by Marblehead or something. And the parent, because you can go anywhere, and we would have had to pay that transportation along with the tuition because we aren't a member of a school district. But the parents decided, like, you know, if the kid wanted to play sports or if the kid wanted to have friends, I mean, that's a long way to go for your kids to have friends and if your kid's not driving it. So,
But the select
but
board
last
is
year
looking.
last year it was 12 kids and 12 kids applied to different schools and none of them got in. So I think we thought, well, okay, everybody's, you know, tapped out, so.
If we end up on the Neshoba, like, as fully enrolled member, does
Yep.
that mean that changes for the, like, can
That
people still enroll
changes.
in the other ones? Is
So,
it their choice?
Once
or?
you are a member district, in a district, the kids can only go outside of that district if so Neshoba, let's say they want
Agriculture.
agriculture, and Neshoba doesn't have it,
So they
then
can
they can
apply to
apply
Essex
somewhere
Aggie.
else.
Okay.
They can apply, and we still have to provide transportation. That very rarely happened when we were part of Minuteman. And there's better communication because we're a member of Neshoba, they're gonna like let us know, there's just much better communication, and we have a representative on the board.
Right.
So,
And transportation is covered in
And
the
transportation
assessment.
is covered.
Because you get a tuition for each kid, but it includes transportation. This doesn't.
So it's a growing trend, but hopefully in
Hopefully
3 years or
we
so, we'll
lock
have
something in.
more eyes on it
Yeah.
in advance. Okay.
the other thing, Tony, is last night they were talking about these, Bob, I don't know if he's right or not, he was saying that these kids have to go to West Acton to be picked up by the bus.
Right, yeah.
So I'm thinking, shouldn't have to pay $41,000 for our
Right.
kids to be driven to West Acton.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the bus is in Acton anyway,
Yeah,
so
that's
Why
maybe
aren't we
that
just
would be.
driving our kids all the way to Minuteman?
Say again?
Why don't we just take our kids all?
No. Parents have to drive the kids from Boxborough to West Acton to a bus stop for the Minuteman bus to pick them up to bring them to Minuteman. That's what Bob said last night.
Yeah.
We need to follow up
I
on
think
that.
because that sounds really fishy, because we should be paying transportation,
Right,
and so we should be paying for a van.
right.
And so.
But for some reason, I don't know what the deal is. That's
something
what he
does-
said.
something
We should
doesn't sound right.
renegotiate that about, yeah.
Because we have $41,000 for transportation.
I remember when we had a parent who was willing, because Assabet was on their way to work, to drive their kid, so.
We gave them the
we gave them
IRS rate.
we gave them the IRS rate to drive their kid. It was a whole lot cheaper than paying
Yeah.
for a van.
Okay.
All right, so that's another question for Rajon.
Okay, next topic is dashboards. So let me share. Share that. So this is also a sort of maybe an educational moment for Joe and John. We started a system last year of doing financial dashboards on a quarterly basis. The idea would be that we would get from the town accountants up-to-date information at the end of each quarter that we could then track how we were doing and then look at it obviously the following quarter and quarter by quarter, so to see the trends in our spending, income, that sort of thing. Allowed us to ask, to ask questions and stuff like that. So this is what we have so far. We have we actually have 6 dashboards that we track: spending, income, reserves, debt, staffing, and outstanding tax was one we added recently. So our spending, the dashboard we have right now go up to Q3. So the deliverable for the town is to give us the information 15 days after the end of the quarter, except at the end of the year when we give them 30 days to deliver the final year-end amount. So we don't know Q4 yet for 24.
Oh, sorry, quick question, sir.
Yeah.
What's our fiscal year? Like September
It goes to
August?
July 1st, June, yeah.
To June?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
So Q4 is basically just finished, but we won't have that information until the end of July, and we'll know then where we actually ended up in terms of spending. I just noted at the bottom here the numbers from that report, which shows that we had 24 million spent out of 26. We had 18 million spent at the end of Q3, basically. So that's that dashboard. We have one for income. We have one for outstanding tax, which I won't get into now. It's a bit complicated. But one thing we want to try and track here is how are we doing in terms of delinquent taxes and how much is outstanding from past years, because there was a suggestion that we had a lot of stuff outstanding. Actually, I think it's probably not too bad for the town, actually, but I think it's good to track it and actually make sure we're on top of that.
And sorry, so delinquent taxes, is that stuff people owe?
You don't pay
People,
your real estate
people,
taxes.
people who didn't pay the property tax for
Property taxes, excise
since
taxes.
2020 or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Things we still
My-
need to collect on.
My idea is that we should get a list of the names and pin them on town hall
They used to do
door.
that.
I think we should do that.
I mean, they've done that in the past. I remember, I think it was Mary Pat used to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
She used
She
to
had a little list of the
and
names.
It was a
Yeah.
list
Right.
of the name and the
And the
address
amount
of
that
how
they
much
owed.
you owed.
I think we should do that. We should
And it
do
was
that.
like pinned. It wasn't a very big list, but when you went up to her window, you saw it.
Sorted like a leaderboard.
It was like a leaderboard. It was alphabetical, and this is the amount you owe.
Yeah. An important one is the reserves that we track. So we have a number of reserve funds. We have, what's called a reserve fund is our emergency reserve. We just talked about these transferred just now. There's a stabilisation fund, which is sort of bigger, more significant changes. Our free cash number, which is a weird number, which is recertified each year by the state, and we keep that number at a certain level. And then the overlay reserve is for property tax rebates, and then OPEB is a fund we keep for pension benefits, health benefits, that sort of thing.
Other post-employment, other post-retirement benefits.
Other
Yeah.
post-employment benefits, isn't
Yeah.
it?
And we have targets for each of those. We have policies which set targets for each of those. So we want to make sure basically we're within the target for each of those. As we go through the budgeting process, we will use some of those reserves for budgeting, but we want to do that within the target. So it's important to understand what those reserves are and what's available to us, and what might come back into free cash to be available in future. So we're always juggling those numbers to try and make our budget balance. So it's important to have a handle on those as we go through the year, actually. And then we have our debts. So we also track what's left on bonds to pay over time, what's being paid as debt payments, and again, we're trying to make sure we have enough capacity for future bonding. We've got to build a firehouse at some point soon in the future. We're going to need to bond for that. So we need to have enough capacity that we can borrow money to actually build that. And obviously, keeping this in order keeps our ratings high, so we can get good interest rates on our bonds. So again, we're tracking that very carefully. And one I just got today from Mike is staffing. So we're trying to track now how do we stand in terms of staffing, and how many heads are we short? And I mean, basically we're pretty close to being fully staffed actually. So no big concerns here, I don't think. But in the past we've had fairly big gaps in protection that we were concerned about. But I think right now we're actually running pretty close to close to okay.
Yeah, I think so. And then we have two officers in the academy, so I think they're fully staffed when those two officers.
And our
come
numbers
online.
went down slightly for protection because we have because dispatch is now regionalised, so we lost 2 dispatchers.
In the
So-
Q4 column where there's parentheses, like an additional plan,
That's-
is that the plan changed?
No,
since
that's the plan. That's the new plan. So
Okay.
the original plan for heads was 32 for protection. Now the plan is 29 because we outsourced dispatch to a region. So that number actually changed in terms of our target number.
Right.
So anyway, that's just an FYI really. So
And those fall town meeting, join the dispatch, so that automatically
Yes.
comes back to us. We have to change that budget or the.
We did that in the fall.
yeah.
In the fall,
Yeah.
we joined.
So does the police department or committee dictate the amount of heads and we account for it, or
So we've
how
gone
does
to
what's
to the regional dispatch at Neshoba, Devon's. They and it's basically an assessment. This is what it costs. For the first 5 years, We've had to pay a little bit this year because next year it's 100% reimbursed by the state. The year after and it goes down by percentage until the 5th year, in which we have to pay the full amount, and that's about
200
200 now.
200,000, yeah.
It'll probably be about 225 to 250 then. And that's the assessment that all the towns get that belong to Neshoba.
But we were
It's not
paying like
assessed.
in excess of 400,000 just for our own personal
Right.
dispatch, so.
Yeah, it was really a no-brainer.
So it's just an automatic removal of the
Yeah.
3 dispatchers in our
Yeah.
own
Yeah, yeah.
department
Yeah.
and moving them to theirs.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
the claim.
Yep,
changed.
and then
Got it.
we hired somebody or are hiring a department assistant to answer the phones, because you still need somebody to be during the day to answer the phones.
Right.
So,
Okay. So next topic is liaisons for committees. So this is
and we're all here, right?
we're all
Yes,
here.
we're all
All
here.
here, okay.
Yeah.
This is good, we're gonna get to like give away.
We'll actually get to get through this without assigning people who aren't here.
Well, it works better that way
Yeah.
sometimes.
So, but the first thing I want to say is for Joe and John, I really don't want to push them into taking on committee assignments. I mean, they're both busy guys. I don't want people to feel that they have to take on a lot of committee assignments here. I mean, I think we have some which have to be covered, and I think we're pretty well covered in this. These are sort of prioritised here. So the green are sort of high priority. We have voting members on them, have to cover them. The blue are the next priority 2, and the yellow are the sort of lower priority. I think the default here is that for some of these, I have to be the person, like select board.
Yep.
I'm the person. Obviously,
hall.
town hall, I'm the person. I think where somebody's already been their person for a certain committee, if they want to, they can continue doing that, unless they violently object to carrying on with that. I hope they will continue doing that. But there are some where we have obviously gaps in them. Again, I'm not sure whether we need to really cover all of these, frankly, but we can go down the list and see how we want to do that. So, do you want to start at the top? Should we start at the top and just go down the list?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So, Affordable Housing Trust is top.
I'm already the select board appointed me, so until my term runs out at the end of next year, I'm gonna keep that.
Okay. Building Committee, we've already talked about at our last meeting. Maria, you're
I'll
that
still do
person. The Capital Committee, I'm on. That's already covered.
And now, last year we had 2 people on, we need 2 people for that.
Correct. We need a second person for the Capital Committee. Who would like to be on the Capital Committee? John Connor.
That sounds like a good plan.
We didn't hear you say
John
yes,
Connor,
John.
You
come
see how
back,
this works?
come back to the cocktail cabinet.
Your mic isn't working so well, good. No, that's fine. Yep.
Yep, okay, great. Thank you for volunteering. The Leadership Forum, I don't think really exists anymore.
No, it was supposed to,
No, but when it does, it should be anyone who wants to go. I really believe that.
yeah.
I know
Okay.
that there's some people who want to limit it to 2 people so that we don't need to do minutes and it's not a quorum. I think, especially for FinCom, going to this, it's super important. We get so much information from the different departments.
Right.
And I really think they need to bring this back. So
Okay.
that's my feeling, but
Okay.
I'm not on the
I'll leave
select
Nobody
board.
listens to you.
Nobody
Thanks for
listens
now.
to us.
Gary's got his hand up.
Question on the Capital Committee.
Yeah.
Last year, we were talking about 2 FinCom members or an appointed. So you just assigned 2 FinCom members. So you do not want me to go then as your appointee, is that correct?
Oh, right. So, yeah, maybe we could have you as the appointee, right? It could be
Because that's how the policy is worded,
Right,
2
we did
FinCom
that.
members or
You're
their,
right, we actually made
their
that point, so-
designee.
Yeah, or the.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know it's close to your heart, Gary, if you think the Capital Committee.
So,
I'm okay to
John,
drop
would you-
off. I just wanted to point that out
who
that.
wants rocks, paper, scissors? You, Tony or
John, would you object strenuously? Well, maybe I should step up to it.
Because you're gonna be doing a lot of other
you got a lot
stuff.
of
Yeah.
stuff going on.
Yeah, okay, so maybe make it Kushner and
Sorry,
Connor.
John.
Kushner and Connor. That sounds like a great team to me.
There you go. You had your chance, Gary, but you like. It is your baby, and so
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
that's why we did the policy the way we did.
yeah,
CPA.
okay.
Okay,
CPA.
again, I'm appointed to that till next year, so.
Yep,
Next
good.
year, somebody's gonna have to take it over, because I'm not gonna be on anymore.
Economic Development Committee.
This is a fun committee. I don't mind staying on this one, but again, if there's something that interests anybody, like, we could tag team it.
That's
So,
what I was
like,
gonna say. We could,
You know,
yeah.
like, and most of these are actually like Zoom, so even if you don't wanna like be a liaison. If you get on the town website and you see that there's something, like, this committee's a good committee. There are other committees, not so much fun. This one is good. So if somebody's interested, you're welcome to hop on, and then, because, like, I've got one more year, and then I have to be off because of the FinCom bylaws. So it'd be good if somebody else, like, knew some of the stuff.
This is true.
Yeah, so you can always just go if you want to,
Yeah.
or join.
Although, can we just make John Recreation Commission, or John? I mean, they
Yeah.
can get their updates over
Brevin.
dinner. John
Brevin.
or John?
John,
Oh, yeah,
My
yeah.
wife, both our wives are on that.
Is that not a conflict of interest?
no.
No,
I was
they're
gonna-
just
I was
liaisoning.
honestly
They're-
gonna
Wait a
ask.
second, hold on. I believe I was listed
They're
last
gonna
year for.
nag us anyway, so.
Yeah, I hear all about it anyway.
Exactly, it makes it easy for you guys.
Like, see, AgCom's meeting tonight, and I'm the AgCom liaison, because guess what? Owen's chairing the AgCom.
Exactly.
So, okay, so who's it going to be? John,
Which John?
Greenman?
I'm happy to do Retcom.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're on.
Um,
Okay,
yeah, it was going to be my question. Okay.
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 Water resources,
Kashava.
Kashava.
I'll continue.
Say again?
I can continue.
You'll continue.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so now we're
Um,
getting to the big departments.
now
Hold
we've
on,
got
hold
the-
on. We passed housing board.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, she just put your name in there.
Is that, I just
Are you okay
continued
with
on.
that?
You okay?
Well,
Do you want, do you not want to do it?
oh, you want to do it? Okay,
I don't
sure.
want to do it, but I will do it because we've tagged, like I did it one
We
year and
seem
you
to
did
tag
it.
team. Yeah, you can have that this year.
All right, I'll do housing board.
They meet Thursday night this week.
This week? I can't do Thursday night this week.
Okay, I'll go this week, and then you can
Okay,
get back to us.
yeah, that's fine, because I'm, okay, sorry,
Okay,
wedding
so-
stuff.
I guess just a broader intro question for me and maybe for Joe as well. What do you do as the liaison? Obviously, I know Brent, you attend their meetings or whatever, but like, are they presenting you like budgeted for like what do they want? What's our
did
role
actually-
there?
I did
What's
actually
our
write- yeah, I did
responsibility?
actually
Maybe
write
I
this-
missed it in the email. Sorry.
I wrote this down somewhere. Hang on a sec. Let me give me.
Can I tell you, when I was chairing, because this is what I did, when I chaired, I would like, and then when I didn't chair last year, I sent an email to everybody, every committee. I was like,
Yeah.
Dear Hillary, I am your FinCom liaison. If you have any budgetary concerns, or if you have anything you think is going to be a big budget thing this coming year, could you let me know, and I will come to a meeting, like, because I don't go to all the meetings. Like, there are
Right, you're not
there are
expected to
committees
go to
here.
all
You're
the
not
meetings.
expected to go to
Yeah.
all the meetings. Like, I don't ever go to
You're
cemetery.
kind of on call.
Yeah,
If
sort of
they
on
need you,
call,
you're
and,
the
like,
one.
if there's gonna be a big change in your budget, and when we start going through the budgets, like, say Retcom spent no money this year, we'd be like, well, hell, then they don't need all that money, so we'll take it back. So that's when, like, you might look at it when we get them monthly or whatever, and you could call and say, hey, like, if you don't, I said this to Owen, I said, if you don't spend that money on trees, we're taking it back, because I knew what it was for at the cemetery, they wanted money for trees. So, that's basically what it is.
So I wrote something down at the last meeting.
Yeah.
This is my list of what I think it is. So it's engage with the board or department. So in other words, let them know you're their liaison person. Attend meetings if necessary, or as necessary. You're either the point of contact between the FinCom and that board and department, or a point of contact, not the only point of contact, but a point of contact. And keep be aware of what's going on in that department in terms of budgeting and spending and that sort of stuff. Then update them on stuff from FinCom, update the FinCom on stuff from them. So it's like it's really just a communication route thing,
Yep.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so like when I was liaison for the library, I never went to a library meeting. I just emailed Paishan and the chair, and I said, if you need me, I'm here. And they did. They reached out at budget time, and when they had a couple of RFTs and that kind of thing. So, because you can't possibly go to everything, but you need to make sure that that you're there if they need you.
Gotcha.
Just to communicate back to us. The stuff in green you have to go to because we're voting members. The stuff in blue, so now as we get to these bigger departments, and Stemple had fire and DPW, Becky, you gonna
I'll
do
take
police?
DPW. Well, I'll do police, and I was doing DPW till Bob got on. I like working with Ed.
Okay, and I
So-
can do fire. But I think it'd be great if
one of
you
you
guys
yeah.
like kind of,
Like, when we go talk to them about budgets, it'd
Yeah.
be great if one of you wanted to come, if you have an interest in fire or police or DPW. See, I think it's interesting because for I don't know how many years, I could not get police because the guys all wanted the lights and the big trucks. So, I'm serious.
Yeah.
So I do not want to give up my police because I like the police. So I do the police. I was doing DPW until last year when Bob was doing it. So I'll do DPW and I'll do Police.
Okay.
And again, like, when I go to meet with them, I can reach out if you guys wanna come, you know.
Of the three, DPW would be the most interest for me, so
Okay.
feel free to let me know.
All right.
I'll join.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
mean, I
put-
don't meet very often.
I'm going to
and-
put you down as like an alternate
Yeah.
there. Then how about
And the
how
other
about
thing I
that?
do is sometimes I just like go up and like, because I'm retired, so I have all kinds of time. And I just go up and I like, you know, I'll just knock on. you
She
know,
spends a
walk
lot more
in.
time than I like would do.
Yeah. Well, I
So-
go up and chat, you know, like, because I like to know, because you hear stuff when you go up there.
Yeah.
And, you know, or when you go to these places.
Okay, library. what's
Town
what?
government we missed, or
Town
yeah,
government.
already
Yeah,
break
so I think I have
Yeah.
to do that because it's like I'm the sort of liaison with,
Right.
with Mike and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you should have John help you since he's John Connor, since
the
he's the
vice
vice chair.
Just like I had you in a lot of our meetings this year
Yeah.
with Mike.
Okay.
So maybe you
Um,
put down Connor too, okay,
Yeah.
So
John?
then, that way, next
Yeah.
year, when he becomes the chair,
I'll volunteer for library.
You mean
You wanna
about-
do library?
You mean
Cool.
I only
straight
get-
up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
great.
and Keishawn's really easy to work with. She's
Yep.
great. So just
Yep.
email her and say, hey,
Well,
everything.
Tony, did you put Bob's Temple back in there? What was that?
Oh, sorry. What do we- yeah, sorry.
Grevin.
No, not Grevin.
Snopin.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No. Oh, yes. Correct. Stop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good catch there, John.
That's my name.
Yes.
Okay, and he's also
So
willing to do.
so you're doing library, Joe?
Sure.
Great. Personnel board, Becky, carry on with that?
Sure. Well, because it's at 5:30 at night, so I know, like, it's 5:30 at night tomorrow night, so I know most people are like having dinner or, you know.
And planning board, the big one.
If we
Okay.
could put the meeting time as a column, that would help.
Yeah, I know, right. I mean, personnel board used to be at 7 a.m.
Yeah, that was when it was easy.
I would not mind giving up planning board.
I mean, I'll do planning board. I go to their meetings anyway, by
mean-
which I mean I just hop on their Zoom
I
meetings.
know, I might too, but I would like not to be, like, no, I
Responsible.
have.
Yeah, I'm happy
Yeah.
to do that. So we'll
Okay.
switch. So I'll be the main, and then Becky can back me.
Okay. So we already had John volunteer for school committee last time.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Personnel board and school committee, to me, seems like, should have been green, like we should go to those committees. Is there a reason
It
to
should be a
not?
high priority, you're saying?
Because it's not a voting
It's-
member.
Yeah.
Those other
Yeah,
ones,
but
Green is voting only?
yeah.
Because I didn't hear that mentioned earlier, I just heard that those are what we should
Yeah,
be
no,
going
those are
to.
voting.
That's why we prioritise them higher.
Okay.
But I'm
Yeah,
assuming to
but
say that
someone-
there's within that two group, there's really segregations in between higher priority twos and lower priority twos.
Well, I think the select board's really important too, right? Because you need to know what's
Yeah.
going on in the select board meetings.
So are you going to go to every select board meeting?
I plan, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can zoom in, you don't have to actually show up.
Yeah, no. It's pretty painful.
But guys,
outside.
I agree
I'm
with Gary
there.
on that. I mean, the school is 25% of our budget, is it not? Or excuse me, more than that.
50% of our budget.
Yeah,
so-
50%.
School committee is 50% of our budget.
So, it's, well, it's just a color code. It's okay.
So I'm going to do some reprioritising then. So school committee and planning board, we're saying a higher
A
priority.
personnel board.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
However, the planning board cost us money because we keep being sued, so.
There's not much we can do about that.
I'll work on this document and reprioritise personnel board and school committee as higher priority.
I think so.
Okay. Okay, and again on the list down we've got Ag Commission, Cemetery Commission.
Yeah, well, those are easy because Owen chairs them, so I'll do those.
Okay, we've got Conservation Commission.
I have no desire to do
I mean,
those.
frankly, if we don't cover them, I think it's probably
Yeah, it's
also
fine
fine
too,
actually as well.
yes.
So I'm not
I
pushing.
mean, I
them.
think, Tony, if you just say to them, I would just email the chairs of any committees we don't cover and just say,
Yeah.
if you have any concerns, please reach out and somebody from finance committee will get back in touch
Yeah,
with
yeah,
you.
yeah. I only hear that anyone really wants to cover. It really wants to do.
I mean, honestly, of all of those that are left, the ones that interest me would be conservation, steel farm, ag.
Okay.
But you can have Steel
You
Farm,
got it.
because I think I'm Steel, oh no, I'm not Steel. Oh, here, I thought I was Steel Farm. He's been emailing me all year.
Yes, he has been emailing you all year. I thought you were
And
still
Bob's the chair,
working.
and Bob's his liaison.
Okay.
So Council on Aging, I will do, I used to be really good about their meetings, but they moved their meetings to 2:00 on Monday, so now it's, if you need me, I'll be there, because I have to work.
Right.
Design Review Board,
No, you don't need to go to that.
yeah, I would
I mean, I think that's one of those ones too.
Yeah.
So are we making those like a priority 4?
Yeah.
We're saying really.
Yep.
We don't need.
Emergency Reserve Corps, isn't that like, shouldn't that be up with the police?
Well, the police and
Fire?
police and fire just,
Because fire is, if you
yeah, they deal with
scroll
it.
up,
But
fire
I
said-
don't think I think they have meetings and trainings, but I don't think we need to go to those.
I don't think so either, and I think they answer to the fire chief.
Yes.
Who's the emergency management director.
Yes.
So I almost think that we don't need a separate line for that.
Okay.
That can be part of the fire.
Just delete it.
Yeah, just,
I think so.
because I don't know that they have a budget either.
Yeah. Oh, they got a budget this year.
Oh, right, they did, oh, well.
But that's under the emergency management, so I think that goes back up to it
Yeah.
falls under the fire chief.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Sustainability. Anyone need to do that? Well-being.
Well-being, they meet like at, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I don't really go to their meetings. I was going for a while, and I've sort of stopped going.
So I'm going to leave these off. I'll make these 4s and leave them
Yeah,
off.
and same with ZBA. I mean, I
Yeah.
sometimes might go to that, but see, they're meeting tonight. They meet Tuesday nights,
Yes,
so
they
it's
meet
hard.
Tuesday
Yeah.
nights.
There's a few here as well, but which haven't.
Yeah, the rest of these, I mean, like,
Nothing. Yeah.
I feel like I used to do, I mean, I've been like I took them because nobody wanted, like Board of Health, and I think I went to one of their meetings in the last 8 years.
Yeah, but you went because there was good controversy. We went
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I can't even remember what the
Okay.
controversy was, but yeah, there was
It was
controversy.
about 14,
Okay,
so
I'm
I
gonna-
think, just reach out.
One of the land stewards.
My hand is
so
ready.
if they need-
Oh, you're a land steward? Good, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, there you go.
Toss me in there if they need something.
For what? Which one? Sorry.
Land steward.
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 Third
Land
line
stewards.
30 line 34.
Okay.
I'm happy to cover that.
And John Connor's got his hand raised.
Hey, John.
Is there a technology group?
So I didn't catch that.
Technology.
Technology group?
It's a budget.
It disbanded about 12 years ago. There
Well,
used to be one.
What about cable advisory? Is that,
That's still,
are you on that?
was,
You were and you no longer are because you're no longer, because it's a FinCom person? Oh, wait, Kirby's coming.
You're still negotiating Comcast.
but who's negotiating it now for FinCom?
Tell Kirby to speak into the mic.
Hi, Kishal. So, yes or no? Was
So
it
Kushner was the cable
FinCom?
advisory representative from the finance committee.
Okay,
I'm no longer on the finance committee. So
are you in the middle of negotiating the contract?
we are,
I think we have our designee VR person.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, if
I
you're
would
in the middle,
nominate
you
Gary to do.
negotiate.
Yeah.
cable
We'll
advisory.
designate.
And
Gary.
that's cable, that's not technology,
that's
right?
cable advisory.
But
Right.
technology's all rolled into like town hall now, right?
Yeah,
The
but
town
I
hall
thought
budget.
you sat with Wes and Mike, and you guys talked about technology.
We did.
And
That was like an ad hoc thing.
Okay,
It
so it
wasn't,
wasn't like a sub.
I mean,
like
there
a-
used to be the old
Bitcom?
Bitcom.
Okay,
My wife was on it.
okay,
And, but again, that's been gone.
all
For
right.
years.
So there's
Well over a
not,
decade.
there's not a cable or technology,
No, it's an ad hoc when
Okay,
But
required.
here's the thing, John, if you're gonna be, piggybacking with Tony on town hall, you can certainly probably take the technology stuff if you want.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Okay. So what are we going to call that?
so I would, technology, and I would let Mike know that John is the person, because Mike will pull that group together, right, Gary?
Yep.
So that includes cable.
No, Gary's gonna keep doing cable.
Okay.
Because he's in
Because they're in the middle of
negotiation.
the contract.
Okay.
And then next year we can figure something out.
Okay. Okay.
So we're not gonna have anyone for sustainability?
I just can't do that.
I can't either.
Does anyone want to?
John, do you feel strongly about the environment, John Connor?
What'd you give it to Kashava?
He's just left.
No.
I do, but not the committees.
Yeah.
I think it'd be.
I do, but I already have a couple.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know if I
you're
want
good. You're
to spread
good.
too thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, get your feet
Maybe
wet before
just,
you take too much
maybe
on.
we just email, what's her name, that somebody new who's the
It
chair.
is,
And
Yeah.
just say, we
Kathleen,
don't have
Kathy?
anybody at the moment.
Is somebody? It's not Francie anymore.
No.
No,
Okay.
she stepped off and they have a new chair. She's
Kate
very
somebody,
good.
she's very good, yeah. Kate
But they-
somebody, but
yeah,
just maybe
Kate.
say, we don't actually have anybody at the moment.
Do you need
So you have a
anything?
concern, please reach out.
Directly
Okay.
to the committee.
Okay. So do you want me? I will reach out to
All the committees that don't have
because
anybody.
don't have people saying if you have a question.
Yeah, because like the
Call any of us.
Acton Boxborough Cultural Council does really cool stuff, but
Yeah.
like I used to be their liaison. I never went to a
Nothing.
meeting.
Nothing going finance. Yeah, financially. Okay. Anything else?
I was just gonna ask, can you scroll back up to the blue ones? Yeah,
Yes.
that are number 2s. So you're saying before, like DPW, fire, police, like I don't know if school committees in that budget. Is there anything else of those that should have 2 where like I could hop on and learn?
So
You could- school committee.
You can pick, yeah, school committee would be
Yeah.
Because
great.
that would be good, because John's gonna be the chair next year, and he's not gonna wanna be doing, like,
Why do you keep saying John's the chair next year? You say I'll get thrown off after 1 year.
you may wanna,
Well, John will be the next chair, whenever that is.
because he's
No,
the
I'm,
vice
I'm
chair.
taking offence at this. You're saying, it's my first meeting, you were saying you want to get rid of me.
You could do, you could, any of those, you could
School,
have
you
on, you know.
can come to police with me if you
Is
want,
there
I don't care.
anything there that like stands out to you?
I mean,
No,
yeah, you can throw me
hey,
in
school committee, school committee.
Okay,
Okay.
well, John has spoken.
Okay.
The voice from beyond.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think some of those, if they're as important and as large
Yeah.
a chunk of our budget,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's definitely not something like next year I'll be like, oh, I'll take it, no problem.
Yeah,
because
you
that
wanna
just
know- you
won't
wanna-
end
But you
well.
can piggyback on, definitely, yeah.
I
School
definitely
com-
want to have
school
that
committee's really
read
easy.
and learn.
Here's
see
the
what
thing, you can go to the
demands are.
meetings, but
Yeah.
here's the thing, if you wanna speak, and John knows this, because Gary was the chair, was the liaison, they only let you speak for like 3 minutes at the very beginning of the meeting, so even if there's something later in the meeting that's really important, that has a financial impact, they will not let you speak to it, which is ridiculous. So, they also have a YouTube channel, you can just watch the thing from home if you want, with a cocktail, and it may be more enjoyable.
Yes, but they need to know that we're watching.
I know. Well, you can send a follow-up email.
That's part of my thing
Adam,
with
I was
them.
watching your meeting, and I'm your one of your FinCom liaisons.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, volunteerism, anything?
Is that enough?
Okay, that's good, yeah. I will clean this up and get it out to everybody.
Okay,
Okay,
can you
thanks.
let the housing board know that I will be there for their next meeting except
It's
for,
probably, August 8th or something.
yeah, so I won't be there August 8th. I'm going to be for the wedding.
I know.
So we'll have the
I'll
wedding
tell them
going.
in September you were
Yes,
taking over
yes.
as
Thank you.
liaison.
Yes.
So should we each reach out right after this meeting, like in the following days?
Yeah,
to-
let me
and-
do the list. I'll send the list out to you. Then if you're the lead person, reach out to them and say, I'm your person. and-
Okay,
Yeah,
so you'll
so
provide the contacts?
Yeah, the
and-
list has got
Okay.
this list that he sent us originally has
Yeah.
got,
It's got
a list.
all the contacts are there.
And
shouldn't
most
it?
people probably have a town email.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
Yeah.
guys get town emails yet?
Not yet.
As of
Yeah.
today, but emails to it are bouncing.
Yeah,
so
once you
figure that out.
get your town email, if you go in and type some person's name, and it will come up with their email address.
So
you can-
emails to that email are bouncing? Okay,
Yes.
so you need.
I followed up with Rajon as soon as it happened, and it was
he's-
after business hours.
So it takes a little while.
Yeah.
So he'll get you set up, because that happened to me. When we switched over to this,
Yeah.
all my emails are bouncing too, and then he just, he figured it out for me,
Yeah,
so.
I got in and I sent him an email with that email CC'd saying it all works, and then that bounced. I said, oh,
Okay.
actually, I guess it's not working. So,
So,
Fine,
and
figure it
you
out.
should use those emails for any FinCom business.
Yes.
Don't use your personal email
Yeah,
for any
because if
reason.
anybody wants to request our emails, it's much easier to get them from there. And anything you send, somebody can request.
that goes for like handwritten notes here too and things like
Nope.
that, right? Or no? Okay.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
I mean, they could try, but no. Like,
Okay.
no one's ever tried to take
They could
our
never read my
personal
writing,
notes.
actually, anyway. So.
But it's really important, because if you just have a habit of just using your town email, this happened to me, and someone was insisting on you getting my personal emails, and I was like, I only use my town email.
Yeah.
So there was a back and forth, went to the Attorney General, and I'm like, I only use my town email, and that is my pattern. There was nothing to get.
Right.
When I was on school committee, they tried to get a court order to get someone's laptop to go in. This was years ago. Because there's some nudges in the community that try to do things
Hard
like
to
that.
believe, I know.
They haven't done it in a while, but just get in that habit. Do not use your personal email. Just use that, and then you can say, I never use my personal email. And you could swear an affidavit to it, and then nobody can try to force you to give up that.
I did have to use my personal email just for the
This is fine.
introductory and
This
things.
is fine.
So, yeah.
I'm just long term when
Right.
you're and
Yeah.
then you also need to be careful about what you put in those emails, right?
Right.
No
Yeah.
deliberation.
Yeah. And you also can't do this reply all. We can't have a discussion over email, all of us, about stuff. You have to,
And even I mean, you could if Tony sent out an email that said, please let me know your availability. He will say, do not reply all. If you do by mistake, that's fine. That's informational, right? I'll be there tonight is okay. But if it was something bigger, like a budget thing, and you sent out a question to everybody, and then you answered the question, That's a deliberation, and we're all in violation of open meeting law. So if you have a question about the budget, you can only talk to the chair.
So reply all is core.
Or you
Yeah,
can
we
pick up,
do
Yeah.
not.
you
Yeah.
can also pick up a phone.
Pick up a phone.
Yeah.
Phone's easier, because then nothing's in
Yeah.
writing.
So reply all is not something you wanna stay away from that.
Yeah.
If possible, okay? That's just, and at some point, I would think the town's gonna do another, open meeting law training, and I would suggest that, you guys, when it happens, you can do it. Last year, there was one on Zoom, maybe it was last year or the year before,
Yeah.
2 years ago. So, but as they get new volunteers in, then they have to refresh, so. And that's something that we'll do, because it changes. What we think this year's okay, next year, maybe a court ruled a little differently, so.
I did read all the whole Boxcar one and the whole Massachusetts open meeting law.
You read it?
PDFs, yeah.
Oh my
You
God.
did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it said it was required.
Okay.
Before. It was
I know
was
it did.
A duty before being sworn in. So
really?
I had a very interesting
Wow,
week.
you're a rule follower. I like that.
Holy jeebers.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So next topic is dates for meetings for the coming year.
Okay, so,
So I put together a tentative schedule.
yep.
So one meeting in August 6th. For September, there's a state primary on the date we would meet on. I wonder if we can get away with one meeting in September, actually.
I bet we can.
So
So
the
the
17th.
17th meeting, I have another board meeting from 5:30 to 7. I'm gonna try to leave that board meeting at 6:30, and I'll just be a few minutes late.
Okay.
But I will make this meeting as well.
Okay.
Okay, I just might be a bit late.
Then October will be the 1st and 3rd, as usual. Then 11th, November 11th is election day, so I pushed that meeting forward a week. So we have a meeting just before the election day meeting. So it'll be on the last week of the month, basically. So our first meeting in November will be in October. Does that make sense?
Wait.
Yeah, so we're meeting,
Oh, so we're meeting the
So
29th.
We meet the 29th.
So we have
and then-
three
and then-
meetings in October.
No, we only have two. Well, yeah, in October, yes. October 2,
Okay.
3, yeah, and then one in November. And then we have two in December. And then, just mentioned we have a placeholder for a special town meeting on 11/18.
Yes.
Is what they said last night.
Although I
It-
almost
it
feel like
may
that's
not-
just not really gonna happen.
It may not
that
happen. It
seems
may not
too
happen.
early,
Yeah.
especially if they're
Yeah.
talking fire
Yeah.
station.
Yeah. So two in December. Then we have January. So Budget Saturday is set. That's an all-day meeting, or 8 till about 2 or 3 probably, to go through the budgets. We go into a weekly schedule from in January. We have Capital Saturday on February the 1st.
Budget Saturday?
Budget
Did you
Saturday
put that in there?
Budget Saturday
Oh,
is
the
the
first,
4th.
yeah.
Capital Saturday is the 1st of February. Special town meeting placeholder 10th of February, which is pretty more likely, I think. It sounds like.
Yep.
So I know, like, every now and then you can miss a meeting. You should always try to attend.
Sure,
But
yeah,
the ones
yeah.
that are highlighted in green, like Capital,
You really wanna try to be at those.
those
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
But do they require everyone in general?
Require
Like,
a quorum.
yeah.
And it's an
okay.
all-day meeting.
Yeah.
It's a
We
Saturday.
bring in lunch, we bring in breakfast.
Yeah.
Actually, did we bring in lunch for budget Saturday?
We did not, but we had so much breakfast that we just ate breakfast for lunch.
And they finished mid-afternoon, right? No, it's not all day. Really.
Yeah, it's mid-afternoon.
It's 2, 3 o'clock.
Start time typically
8:30.
8.
Okay.
Yeah, 8:30. Yeah. So then we go to a weekly cadence through February, March. I'm thinking that we got the budget sort of finished, I think, by end of March sometime. So I think we then revert back to a twice-a-month schedule after that, unless
That's what
we
we did in April.
Unless we really need to.
Yeah.
So I'll put the
Yeah.
dates in as optional, but
Yeah.
I think we can hold the space and stuff. But
Yeah.
I think we plan not to have those meetings. And then annual town meeting on May the 12th week.
Okay.
So I've shared these dates with Becky Harris, town clerk. So she's fine with all of these dates.
And she's reserved the room.
She's reserved the room.
Great. And then you send to Kirby.
I'll
Kirby,
send-
yes.
I'll send the
Kirby's
Kirby.
waving.
Yeah. So that's the schedule. Any
Okay. I
questions,
have the same
concerns?
conflict in November, so it will be the same thing. I might just be a few minutes late.
Right.
My conflicts, January through May, I told them I could not skip FinCom, so I would skip that board meeting.
Right, okay. Okay, so that's that. So next topic is committee reports. So Maria and I both went to the select board last night. Let's have a look. Yeah, I I made some notes myself. So one was about the issue of the freshmen came up. There was a long discussion about the chart. Well, a discussion about the charter of the sustainability committee. Discussion about town meeting schedule, which we've just talked about just now. A long discussion about the fire building committee charter, line by line. A painful
3 hours.
discussion about
like-
every paragraph.
Looks
Yeah.
like the share still has the scheduled meetings. As
Oh yeah,
opposed to
so
the-
yeah,
Is
so
that
yeah.
what you were telling me, Kirby? Okay, I don't read this.
Okay, let me share that again. Sorry. Okay, stop share.
Here we go.
Share. These are just my notes, really. So, and then they went through the process for how they're going to appoint the committee, which took even longer, I think, to figure out.
And they haven't even appointed the committee.
to figure out.
That was to figure out the process to
'cause they
appoint the
have
committee. They're gonna have a meeting
25
again on,
volunteers
The
for the
15th.
committee.
they have
Only
23
fi-
volunteers.
23 volunteers and 5 seats. It will include a FinCom member, which would be Maria, and a select board member to be determined.
So they're only gonna have 5, they're not having 7.
It's gonna be 7,
5.
Oh, 7.
but they
So
have
it's-
to pick, of the 23, they have to pick 5 volunteers, and then it's could be FinCom and Select Board, it'll be the 7.
So each person has to pick 5 people, and then they go compare all the lists and figure out who
Yeah.
the
And they're gonna
lucky
send it-
winners are.
Each person's gonna send it to Mike.
And then we talked about the school budget issue which we just talked about. So those are the main topics. At that point, I left, so I didn't hear the rest of the stuff.
I didn't either. That was it. Once we talked about the budget, we left. So for the fire building committee, it sounds like on Monday night, they picked the committee. And between Monday night and the end of the month, they
hire
want
an
to appoint the OPM at their last meeting in July. So they're already getting in, whatever, I don't want to say resumes, but whatever presentations, packages from the OPM. So the committee will be getting together. So there'll be a lot of work in that 2-week period. So they really have to pick this committee on July 15th. Like it could be a 7-hour meeting based on last night's meeting, but they have no choice because we've got to pick the
Wow,
OPM.
and I went to planning board last night, and it was over earlier.
That's,
So, yeah,
that
so-
doesn't usually happen.
So that's
so.
select board. Any other committee reports?
Well, I went to planning board last night, and what it was an extra meeting because they were doing, Alec did an MBTA communities presentation for the planning board, and he's gonna have a working group to help him figure out where it should be and stuff. It's gonna include two planning board members, and there were planning board members who thought it should just be planning board members. But Alec felt strongly that it also includes citizens from the community. And so it's gonna be Rebecca and Rich Gazzardi, and then 3 other people. And they're gonna put out feelers to get people, and but they were done by like 8:30, 9 o'clock, I guess, which is early for them.
And the goal is to discuss the MBTA communities and the zoning and come back with a plan by the end of the summer?
Well, no, then community engagement and stuff.
Okay.
And then, because they need to come back to annual town meeting in May with
Okay.
proposal.
Where to zone the MBTA housing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's all I had.
Okay.
I don't have anything, no.
Okay then. So that's the end of the meeting. I think that's all I have.
Okay,
So-
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favour?
Right, you gotta do roll
call.
call.
Roll call. John, Connor,
Aye.
Kashaba's gone. So Joe.
Aye.
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 Okay,
Meeting
cool.
closed.
Awesome.
Thank you.
33.
Good way to start, good way to start your